What's up, guys? I've got something a little bit different for you today. I'm in the middle of doing a project for a customer, and it is fabricating a splitter for his top mount intercooler on a Subaru. So there are a few off-the-shelf options that they have for certain cars and different intercoolers and stuff like that. But he wanted something specific for his car and just something that's sealed a little bit nicer than some of the off-the-shelf stuff because some of it kind of leaves a little bit to be desired. So I already designed it all in Fusion. I'll go through that real quick with you guys, kind of show you what I made, and then we'll get it cut out, start welding it together, and see what the finished product looks like. So here's the design that I kind of came up with. Obviously, it's replicating a lot of his Grimseed, but it's going to actually be built to the proper dimensions. So this from here to here is about 20.5 inches, just like his intercooler and the max opening of his hood scoop. So it's built as big as it can go. Obviously, this is not the flange that it's going to be welded to. I had an issue with Fusion where my computer crashed, but I lost all of it. And I had already generated G-code for this section, so I didn't have to redraw it. One of the biggest differences that I have compared to his Grimseed one, rather than each of the sides being individual pieces, it's all one piece. So I'll show you the flat pattern real quick so you can kind of get an idea. Obviously, this is going to be the bend line. It's getting bent in, and then the flange on top is going to get folded down and kind of like lock it all in place. Spoiler alert, this isn't how I had it designed originally. So at the beginning, the front flange right here was coming off of these pieces and it was going to have another bend and then come in. So it saved me another seam and a little bit less welding as well. But unfortunately, with those pieces added on, it was a little bit too big for my table. It was about 3/4 of an inch too big, and it caused my X-axis to crash, which then meant I wasted a whole bunch of aluminum that I cut out. So that kind of sucked. You'll see that in a minute. But this was the fix. I just made a little flange and we welded it on. So I have my material loaded on the table. We're almost ready to start cutting. I did take a few sample cuts. I really wanted to dial in the settings, make sure that I was getting a good cut quality because I haven't really cut too much aluminum on this table. By the way, we're cutting all of this out of 080-5052, so it welds pretty easy and it bends pretty easy as well. So it should be fairly simple to work with it. But yeah, I'm just gonna start loading up the G-code files and we'll start cutting. So I like to always try to include things when I mess up, and this is why you should always check your measurements to see exactly how large a part is going to be when you make it flat, because obviously when it's all boxed up like this, it's not that big, but when you unfold it, it gets pretty big. I apparently hit the table limitation, so when this was all the way out, I was at 48.75 of an inch. My table can only cut up to 48 inches, at least in width. So when I got to the edge here, as you can see, that guy is a little bit too small, and then it kind of threw everything else off. So it bottomed out, essentially it crashed that stepper into the X-axis on that plane. So then once it continued on, it thought it had done all those steps, but it actually was completely off half an inch then. So that's why everything kind of got really skewed after that. I did bend this up just to make sure that all this stuff still made sense. I made fixes to it in Fusion. I didn't want to show that just because it took me a little bit to figure out what I was going to do. We're going to get it cut out now and hopefully not run into any more problems. Now that I have all my parts cut out, we're ready to start prepping for bending as well as welding. I'm also going to be prepping the surfaces of everything at once, just because while they're flat, it's going to be much easier to get a nice even finish on them versus waiting until after I weld it all together and it's all bent. And we got to get all the dross off so that way we get a nice clean weld. With plasma cutting, you do get a decent amount of dross. If you dial in your settings, usually you can get rid of most of it, but with aluminum, it's kind of not going to ever happen just because plasma cutting is not the best way to cut it. I also have a new tool that we're going to try out to prep the surfaces and everything, kind of put like a different kind of finish on it. We'll see what happens with it. Haven't used it yet, but I'm excited to try it. So I've got everything bent up, cleaned up, and I dry fitted everything, and it looks like it's all good. But yeah, now comes the fun part. I'll break out some acetone, clean it all up really well, and then we'll just start welding it together. I got it all finished welded yesterday. Now I just need to clean it up a decent bit. There's a few rough edges that I need to get rid of now that it's all welded together, mostly with like this front flange piece here. And then there's a couple other things that I want to clean up as well. So just put the finishing touches on it, and then this thing is done and ready to go. Well, it's all cleaned up and pretty much ready to be mounted on the car. I'm probably gonna have to make some tweaks when his car gets here and I actually have to mount it, just because I'm sure there's some stuff that didn't come out perfectly. I know I got a little bit of warpage. Good thing about this stuff, being that it is 50-52, it's super malleable and it's not that thick. So we'll be able to get it to fit, and it's super close to the original. Obviously just the different dimensions based on what he wanted. So we'll have full coverage of the intercooler, which would be great. And then I do need to add a gasket to it. I don't have any right now, but it's made so that you can just put like normal edge trim with like a ball end on it all the way around it. And then that's what's gonna actually get the sealing edge to the intercooler. So yeah, I'm super excited how it turned out. The welds, some of them are kind of bad, I'm not gonna lie. Part of that's me not being that good at it and being really out of practice with it. And then I also had the door open. That's my excuse. I get a lot of wind that comes in, and when you're welding with something without a gas lens, the number 6 cup, it doesn't work that well when you get a bunch of wind that all of a sudden starts coming in there. And that's my excuse though with the door, and I'm sticking to it. That's why my welds are bad. But as far as the project goes, I think we're done showing it on video. I'm just gonna get it installed in his car when he comes by. It'll need some tweaking, but not a big deal. Yeah, so some of the stuff that I figured out that I need to work on going forward, obviously a lot of issues with the design portion of it. A lot of that's me just getting familiar with the software. I haven't really done anything with the sheet metal portion of Fusion before, as far as like building a 3D model. You're actually like kind of making complex shapes in multiple parts, and then you're expanding essentially and unfolding so that you can cut it out in a 2D flat object. Most of the time when I've done anything like that, it's just been me drawing it in 2-dimensional, just a flat plane, and doing it exactly how I need to. It's real simple that way, and then you just generate the G-code, send it to the plasma cutter, and cut it out. With this, obviously, it was a little bit more complex, and it took me a little while to figure it out. One of those things that I normally check but didn't, because I kind of got frustrated that I lost all the design the first time I did it, was the stock that I needed to make that big cut. And then we ran into the X-axis crashing and then messing up that cut, so it was wasted aluminum. A couple hours wasted trying to figure out what was wrong. Just would have been a real simple check just to look at that number, because it literally measures it for you when you go to process it, and it tells you how big of a piece you need. It would have said 49.25, which is what it needed. And then I could have been like, oh, I need to redesign it because that's not going to fit. But obviously we worked through it. Once we made it past that phase though, it went together fairly well, which was awesome. I'm really happy with how the bends and all that came out. The magnetic brake was great during this, because I think there's some stuff that I wouldn't have been able to do with a typical box and pan brake on this. As far as like the internal flange was a little bit awkward. So being able to pull all like the top plate off and just put like the little pieces in made for a real easy process of being able to get that done. You would probably be able to do that on a normal box and pan brake, but that one fits in my shop and is super convenient. And honestly, it bent fairly thick aluminum. I mean, 080, that's not that bad. And I'm super happy with that. Anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling about all the issues that I had. Maybe you learned something though, or maybe you'll have critiques to give me on other things that I messed up. Tell me how bad my welds look. But I'm gonna get this installed, and today I'm actually gonna start working on my rally car again. I know I posted a video a couple weeks ago, said it was gonna start happening pretty soon, and I planned on videos coming out. And then I got a whole bunch of customer orders of different things on my plasma cutter and projects like this. This is the last thing that I took for a while. I have a roll cage coming up, but that's after the event so that I can focus all my time on that car. So yeah, we're gonna hopefully get started on that today. So make sure you stay tuned for that. But I'm gonna get this installed, and we'll see you guys with the next video.